councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas. The first reports say that President Kennedy has been seriously wounded by this shooting.
It is a big idea, a new world order.
It was almost as if it were a planned implosion. It just pancaked.
Either you are with us, or you are with the terrorists.
But I also believe that a lot of gun owners would agree that AK-47s belong in the hands of soldiers, not in the hands of criminals.
Guns will be taken, and no one will be able to be armed. We're going to take all guns.
For many of the police and guard troops, it is an uncomfortable job to do this in an American city.
Global governance at last. Is it one world? The central bankers in charge. But aren't we all just living and dying for what the central banks do?
As for me, give me liberty or give me death!
The answer to 1984 is 1776.
Welcome to the InfoWars Nightly News. I'm your host, Jakari Jackson. Here's what we have in store for you for this December 4th, 2013 edition.
Tonight, the House trembles in fear at plastic guns, while Florida cops fear the dreaded Guy Fawkes mask. Could it be because our money is about to vaporize like Detroit pensions? All that and more on tonight's InfoWars Nightly News.
And welcome back. Top story headline: mother of Sandy Hook victim, background checks wouldn't have prevented tragedy. And she's telling the Lord's truth right there, because as we all know, regardless of what you think about the official story of Sandy Hook, Adam Lanza supposedly stole his firearm from somebody who was a legal gun owner, killed them, murdered them for the firearm, and then went and committed his massacre. So she is telling the truth that, you know, he stole it from a legal gun owner. So how would a background check have prevented this very unfortunate tragedy? And I definitely respect her. I'm pretty sure she's caught a lot of flack from the people in the anti-gun movement. But thank you, Nicole Hockley, for your bravery in speaking out on this issue. Now, just like this brave woman spoke out, we need to speak out, because now we have this. The House is really worried about 3D printed guns, so much it voted to ban them. Now, this is an extension of the Undetectable Firearms Act, which coincides with the National Firearm Act that the ATF is trying to push, and this is coming up on December 9th. And later on in the show, we'll be talking to printable gun pioneer Cody Wilson, who's going to tell you about all this stuff, so be sure that you do not miss that interview. Florida cop arrested for wearing Guy Fawkes mask at Obamacare rally. You can't have somebody actually having freedom in this country. And this is the story of Erickson Harrell, age 39. He's a police officer. He was protesting Obamacare, and he had a upside down flag. And he was asked by the police to remove his mask and identify himself. He refused multiple times and was arrested. I'm not exactly sure what the laws are in Florida, but in the state of Oklahoma, if you're asked to identify yourself by an officer, you're supposed to do it if the officer has reasonable cause to come and suspect that you have some wrongdoing. Wearing a mask or holding a sign and being at an anti-Obamacare rally is not a crime. And you can see this footage that we shot. Now, this isn't that particular rally. This is some stock B-roll footage that we had. But a guy was wearing a mask just like this, peaceably assembling, just like you see these guys doing here. And the police came up and said, hey, you're going to tell us who you are, or you're going to jail. And the guy said, fine, I'll go to jail. And this is what we're talking about. When we talk about police, military, you're not immune to this. Just like every week I go out to the state capitol building and see DPS arresting lawful, legal gun owners, just like when the guys went to Dallas for the JFK memorial service and people were arrested out there, people were harassed, physically assaulted by the Dallas Sheriff's Department. And this is what happens. So keep in mind, when we say you're not immune from this, police, military, remember this. Keep this in mind, because it could be you very well someday when you stop going along with this police state propaganda. Vaporized. Detroit obliterates retirement funds, 80% cuts to pensioners. This is going to affect everyone. So my question to the city of Detroit, the mayor, the city council, are you guys taking any pay cuts up there? Because I've seen situations like this. Back before I worked here at InfoWars, I was working for Tulsa County, and the lady said, the HR lady said, excuse me, son, do you want to sign up for the retirement plan? And I was like, no, I don't want to sign up for a retirement plan, because even at that time, mainstream media, I believe it was on 60 Minutes, did a story about a gentleman who worked as a firefighter, and then he had to go back after his retirement and become a mall cop because there's no money to pay him his pension. So I knew that, well, maybe that lady will get her retirement fund someday, but I knew I wouldn't get mine. So if you're in that kind of situation, I'd suggest you hold on to your money and invest it in something worthwhile. And also, I guess, just not be a sucker to the system, because it will burn you in the end. IRS vulnerable to fraud with Obamacare health subsidies. And we've seen Obama lie about this again and again and again, but now people are saying it's okay if he lies as long as he has a good heart.
All Americans know politicians lie. The question is, which lies can you live with? And time again, Americans have said we can deal with the lies that President Obama tells us, because we believe in his heart he has the best interest for the American people. Every president is going to lie to you. Every politician is going to lie to you. The question is, which lies can you live with?
I think it's really sad that we're sitting here having this debate, and you're at least you're willing to admit the president lied to the American people.
It's okay if he lies to you. You should just go along with it, and that's the way it is in this country. Another thing that's just the way it is the TSA. But we have this article. TSA claim debunked. Photo proof agency searches cards. And you can see it right there on your screen. You can go and read this full article from Kurt Nimmo, but definitely take a look right there. It's right there. It's right there. You don't have to believe us. You don't have to go to, quote, conspiracy sites. It's right there on that sign. But a site that you definitely want to check out is Infowars.com, because we have the 10K film contest for the TSA and the NSA. You can go out there and see the full contest rules. You need to have all your submissions in by January 7th, 2014. Be sure to follow the rules or you won't win, but it's definitely a great way to get the word out and also get a little coin in your pocket. And it's something that you can do to put coin in our pocket is become a member of PrisonPlanet.tv. You can get yourself a 15-day free trial. You can see the Alex Jones Show, the nightly news, the special reports, the rants, and so much more right there at PrisonPlanet.tv. So stay tuned after this break for more special reports and also my interview with printable gun pioneer Cody Wilson.
I'm Gigi Arnetta for Tyranny Watch. Well, you won't hear the mainstream media supporting the Second Amendment. In fact, they say that guns are bad. You may have heard about the NFL not allowing the Daniel Defense rifle commercial.
So I've chosen the most effective tool for the job. Daniel Defense.
The fact is, if you go out of our media stratosphere and tune in on Iceland, all the theories of gun control go out the window. On Monday, for the first time in the nation's history, the Iceland police fired a shot at a citizen during an operation. Most cops don't even carry guns. The homicide rate in Iceland in 2009 was 1. The only officers who carry firearms are on a special force called the Viking Squad, and they're rarely used. And out of 325,000 people, 90,000 are registered gun owners. Crimes in Iceland don't usually involve guns. There's not a huge division in economic classes in Iceland. 97% of the people consider themselves upper middle class, lower middle class, or working class. So strife between them is nearly non-existent. The other thing you won't hear from our mainstream media is that people in Iceland demanded their country back. They took their country back from the government, and they did it peacefully. After unscrupulous bankers bankrupted Iceland's banks in 2008, the citizens took the streets by the thousands, banging pots and pans in what is known as the Pots and Pans Revolution, which led to the arrest of the bankers, and Icelandic citizens rejected any measures of taxation to bail the bankers out. The citizens demanded the government resign, while an assembly is elected to rewrite a new constitution. 25 citizens with no political affiliation were chosen, and the Constitutional Assembly started in February of 2011. So why is our mainstream media keeping this story out of the news? Well, maybe it's because the thought of a pots and pans revolution in the United States and true justice for those who break the law is a very scary thing for a corrupt government. I'm Gigi Arnetta with Tyranny Watch on the InfoWars Nightly News.